I literally was this mom who had lost her son. I went through this terrible divorce. I had $47 to my name. I was raising these two girls. I sold all my furniture. I'm sleeping on the floor. I have no computer, but I have all of this in my heart that I want to be someone. I want to like contribute. I want to be in my fullest expression of my heart, but I'm like literally every day telling myself how terrible I am. I don't know, but I have this fire in my belly and I don't know why. When you're in the refiner's fire, you literally feel you're being burnt to death and you wonder if you are going to make it out. It is the washing machine of your life. You're like in the high cycle, the spinning really fast and you cannot breathe and you're hoping the door will open. Now I'm sitting in this place where I'm like so grateful for that time, because in that refiner's fire, I always say in his passing and his death, I woke up. I recognize that every great person that I look to had a really crazy past and a really dark kind of, they could have made any choice on the path and they chose this one. And that path was 100% responsibility. And that's what I decided to do, was take 100% responsibility that I was where I was because of me. And once I did that, that's when everything shifted.
Hi, loves. Welcome to the Danette May Show. Enjoy this conversation I had with Samantha Skelly. Let's dive right in. Welcome to the Danette May Show, where you'll receive profound breakthroughs, courage to break old patterns, and live into your soul's purpose. Each week, I will bring you epic guests and live coaching to remind you of your power. You have the ability to achieve extraordinary things, and the time to start is now.
I'm excited to be here. So the first question I want to ask you, what is the number one thing about life that makes you feel the most alive?
Oh, about life? Oh, so the thing that I write down every single day is that I'm loving awareness. So when I am loving awareness and I'm awareness of, everything's exciting, right? If I can remember that I'm awareness of, but right now I'm looking out in nature and I have to say that nature, if I were to quantify it in a name, it would be nature. I'm in awe every day at the beauty, the growth, the expansion, the decay of nature. So that's what I'm most excited about.
Yo, Mother Nature is like the VMP, like the ultimate teacher.
Yeah.
I took, for the first time in like 4 years, I took a full 7 days off, no phone, no laptop, no connection to my team, nothing. And I went down to Colombia and just hung out in the jungle for 7 days, just hanging out in nature. And I'm like, wow, every lesson is here. It's right here in nature. How there's such an abundance of different plants and trees and animals, and everything's coexisting and everything has a role and everything has such a special gift and it's all working and there's patience and there's breath and it's like,
Yes. Yes. It's
oh.
everything. Everything.
And then when we interact with it, I was like lying down on the ground, on the earth, and I'm like, man, I feel like my nervous system is literally charging through the energy of nature. It's so
And
beautiful.
that's amazing.
Exactly. It's so rad. It's so rad. We complicate being happy sometimes. You know, I think there's happiness is found in such simplicity if we allow it. You have this insatiable desire to create impact in the world. You do it all day, every day, through your books, through your programs, through your live events. Where does this drive come from? Why do you have a bleeding heart for social impact, raising consciousness?
Yeah. So God, kind of the way you asked that kind of brought a little bit of like a spring to my eyeballs. I'm like, oh, don't cry tonight. You're like 2 minutes in. But I've asked myself this question because a little bit about me. So right now I'm in this huge expansion, right? So on the outside, someone could look in and go, oh, you have these really successful businesses. And on it, truthfully, I don't even need, it's done so well financially that I could just stop today and not work another day. And honestly, I say this so humbly because I need to share where I've been. But I've asked myself this question, like, if I can stop anything and literally live the lifestyle I've been living and be just fine with the investments, everything, I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why do I get up? Why am I even on this podcast? Why do I write these books? Why am I doing these events? And the truth is, like, it's obviously in my heart, but I think it really goes back to this deeper knowing for me, because before this life that people see today, I literally was this mom who had lost her son. I went through this terrible divorce. I had $47 to my name. I was raising these two girls. I sold all my furniture. I'm sleeping on the floor. I have no computer, but I have all of this in my heart that I want to be someone. I want to like contribute. I want to be in my fullest expression of my heart, but I'm like literally every day telling myself how terrible I am. I have like no money. I feel like I'm this terrible mom. I'm wondering, no one knows who I am. And it led me on this journey of really discovering, like, how do I go from there to this dream that's in my heart? Like, how do I, because I'm not connected to anyone. I don't even have a social media. I don't know, but I have this fire in my belly and I don't know why. And it led me to really understanding that you and I are the same. Everyone I look at is me. And so I just want to show up for me. I want to show up for the humanity because I had this one breath, this one amazing life I get to live in this dimension. And I'm like, you know what? I want to squeeze it and I want to show up for me, which when I show up for others, I'm showing up for me. So I just see myself in so many people and I'm like, I've been so blessed. And it's like, it's time to continue to give. And that's where the drive comes from.
So beautiful. You lost a son during childbirth. Is that right?
Yeah.
What was that like for you? And how did you get over that?
Yeah, it was one of my big rock bottoms. And I always tell people it's also refiner's fire. And I'm really obsessed with the refiner's fire analogy. You read it biblically, but I've also watched, when they're molding glass and they like heat it up. And I'm like, when you're in the refiner's fire, you literally feel you're being burnt to death, and you wonder if you are going to make it out. It is the washing machine of your life. You're like in the high cycle, the spinning really fast, and you cannot breathe, and you're hoping the door will open. And honestly, like that's what it felt like. I was in unknown territory. I went through I don't even normally get depressed. I wasn't familiar with depression and I was in depression. I couldn't leave my house for 3 months. It was really, really interesting territory for me. And, now I'm sitting in this place where I'm like so grateful for that time because in that refiner's fire, I always say in his passing and his death, I woke up and I literally woke into myself because I had nowhere else to go.
What a gift.
Yeah, truly.
What a gift. What do you
Mhm.
think is the determining factor in people who take those moments, those rock bottom moments, and turn them into their greatest gift versus people who turn them into destruction and victimhood?
I don't know other than trust me, I've played that role. I have was in massive victim role. When I lost my son, I was angry, but I was more angry at myself because I wasn't listening to my intuition. And then when I went through divorce, I was angry and blaming my family, the way I was raised, why I made the decisions I made. I was blaming my ex. And, what I realized when I was really tuning into anybody that I thought was great, who was like a teacher, I recognized that every great person that I looked to had a really crazy past and a really dark kind of, they could have made any choice on the path and they chose this one. That path was 100% responsibility. And that's what I decided to do was take 100% responsibility that I was where I was because of me. And once I did that, that's when everything shifted. So I think that it just comes to a decision for each human. Each human is going to be dealt their cards. Each human is going to have the gift of the burning fire of transformation. And you can decide to play the victim and be pissed and be angry, or you can decide to take 100% responsibility and say, I did this, I created this. And if I created this, I can create anything I want.
Victimhood is truly one of the most limiting mindsets we could possibly get into. Because the fact is, each human, if you have a fucking beating heart, you can transmute through so much pain, so much suffering, so much agony, so much everything. And what pains my heart is people not actually realizing that they are their own drug, they are their own power. They have access to infinite intelligence, whether you use the term God or universe or whatever it is. It's like we have this energy that is so readily available to support us, but we mute ourselves, we get into victimhood, poor me, and we spin into narratives that are so disconnected from our true nature. So it takes so much courage to use your voice and to take full emotional responsibility. Like that's a huge piece. I want you guys to really listen to what you said, like fully owning every sensation, every contraction in your body. Like I am going to be with myself through these moments and I'm going to endure the pain it takes to transform. Like so let's shift a little bit into your ability to truly embody abundance, which you do so well. Just seeing you on social, the way you live your life, abundance in your relationships, in your work, with travel. Where did you learn that you could take this abundance that exists again in nature and you could literally put it into yourself and become this? Where did you learn that? And why are you so excited about sharing that in your next book?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm very fascinated with this concept because I literally came from $47.63 when my son had passed away and went through divorce, which we found in couch cushions, we found in drawers. I had no friends. I had no girlfriends, like girlfriends that I talked to. My family was questioning me because I was questioning my religious beliefs and my upbringing. So my family was moving themselves away. I literally was in this place of financial ruin, single mom, no friends, family disengaging from me. And I wasn't even in my purpose fully. I was a trainer at the time. So I'd get up really early to go train a few clients. And here I was like, I literally am like, I am at rock bottom. And so when I answer this question around abundance, it was a compilation of different things. So one, all I had was nature. Nature truly is like the CEO of my life. I ask her like what steps, what directions. Like we say that with our Earth Echo company. I'm like, she's the CEO of the company. But I literally walk in nature and I cannot, if I am nature and I am connected to it all, then I am abundant just for being. I am abundant just for being. And I started to take these internal truths in myself as I walked amongst the trees. And it's called forest bathing. And there's massive healing with it. So that was one. Then I was listening to the scientific part of it. So that was the spiritual cellular part for me. The scientific part, I started really understanding that our minds and the neurons that we're carrying through from past belief systems are what is bringing into our awareness, whatever that is. So if our past conditioning is, it's hard to make money, which I grew up on, this was something I had to work on, that I literally would create that. Money would be hard to get. And if I could change that story and rewire the neurons in my brain, then I could actually create a different awareness of a financial abundance. And so I started playing with these concepts, still walking in nature every day, making sure I had time for stillness in my own breath, not worrying about social, not worrying about who's doing what. Nature, 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 nature. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to rewire this story. And I would spend time on it every single day. So it seemed like some things were a little easier to rewire, such as friendships, for example. I didn't have any girlfriends. So I was like, I started to rewire that. Okay, I remember getting hurt when I was in sixth grade. Okay, rewire that story. I didn't get hurt. Like da 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 da. And this is a whole concept that I lay out in my book. But you rewire the sequences in your mind. And I started watching that. I would be like, get courage to like reach out to someone and be like, hey, you want to jump on a call? I didn't even know these people. And I started building up some friendships that turned into a deep friendships. Then I actually used this meditation that I learned to bring in my soulmate, who I thought was going to just be a business partner, but ended up being my lover too. So I started seeing these things. Financial abundance was one of my harder ones because I was taught with a story, right? So I had to really work on this financial story and where did it come from my parents? Where is it like layered in me as a woman, as a mom? If I'm a mom, can I be financially? So I rewired, and everything that am willing to rewire is coming into my awareness.
It's so incredible that we have the ability to do this. Like, we are not victims to our stories, our conditioning. We're not victims to our upbringing. We have the ability to shift this through doing the work. And oftentimes, and it's like what I'm hearing you say is it's like really like body based healing on a cellular level versus like affirmations like I'm good, I'm worthy, I'm worthy. Like what it sounds like, it's much more like body based, like somatic shifting.
Yes. It's a combination. So that's funny you say somatic and embody. If you look up embody, body in my body. So what I would do is I would take the affirmations and I would work out, like I'd go running
Yeah.
I work out my body so everything's like charged or sweating, and then I would repeat the words, calling it in, and I know that there's like this conduit for it. You can do this with sex with orgasm, which a lot of people know about. They call it sex magic, but
Yes.
like you can do it in that because it's whatever. It's like the cellular reaction inside of your body, and then you call in because your frequency's already matched up. Then you're just like more of a magnet.
So powerful. So powerful. Yeah. I was chatting with one of my friends about sex magic, and I'm like, I'm going to try that with a G Wagon.
I'm definitely into that.
That's so good. Who are some of your mentors or people that you look up to?
You know, this is an interesting question. And I think this last year has made me really go, wow, Danette, who you thought were mentors, which is fine because I can choose to see whatever I want to see.
Ah,
But the mentors that got me to where I am today were a lot of Hay House authors, actually. And it was kind of surreal that I became one because I would read their stuff. So Wayne Dyer was one, I would listen to stuff on Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, Deepak. I was always taking in these people. And when I take them in, I literally would pretend they were like coaching me online. Yeah. And then, so those were mentors, and not to say that they still aren't, because they have helped cultivate me because I took what I needed. But I've learned over this past year, and I think this is what you asked me earlier before we turned on the record, like, how's this past year been? And I think that it has illuminated within me a lot of the BS that people want us to believe externally, but I'm not interested anymore. I'm not interested anymore. I'm like, what is your heart? I want to know underneath. I want inside the heart. And if I don't see that, I'm not interested. And it's freed me up a lot because I see a lot of people doing epic stuff externally, but their heart is like a little crusty or a little shallow. And I'm like, I'm just not interested. Kudos to you to put it out there on your mask. And so people that are interesting me and mentors that are interesting me now are not even people that are even on social media. They're not even people that anyone really knows, but they're so deep, they're so real, and they show up in presence and awe and wonder every day. And those are my mentors. So if I even said names, you guys would be like, who the heck is that? But that's what I'm
absolutely.
interested in now.
That's so funny you say that. I'm right there with you. I'm right there. Yeah, I had like Hay House on my vision board since I was like a young kid and really, grew up drinking the Hay House juice. And I now am like, wow, this old man at the cashier inspires me, because his ability to just like be so present and have a real conversation, or this child inspires me, or this animal inspires me. Or again, we've been talking about nature. Nature inspires me. Like, how can we really learn messages from people who are not on, the public pedestals, or who are verified on Instagram or whatever? Like, how can we learn? I love that you said that. It's just so important. And I think it's cool because anyone can be that for anyone.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's your vibration is your contribution. Like
Oh, that's so dang good. Your vibration is your contribution. End of the story.
it's like people are searching for their purpose. Like, what's my purpose? What should I do? What should I launch? What's my niche? Who do I want to help? It's like the best thing that you could do is just work on your energy and be that for the world. Cause that's what we need more than anything.
Oh my gosh, I love you. I love that.
Mm.
Good. I'm gonna write that down. Your vibration is your contribution to the world.
Yeah, man. It's like it's so important. It's like it's all the world needs. When we vibrate more with more integrity to nature than we do with the human mind, that's what's going to recalibrate a lot of the chaos that's happening. And I believe we can get there in this life. I
Yeah.
do. I think we're going through a little bit of darkness and shedding right now, and like getting rid of a lot of like the structured mind like hooking that's happening. But once we move through that energy, we get more integral with like the soul energy, the heart energy. Like, yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I think there is going to be a shift. I think what we call a celebrity and what we've been witnessing within the celebrity space, because we seem to think that that's what we should aspire to. I think a lot's been illuminated lately, which has been like, I actually don't want to be that connected to you. I actually don't care to be on a call with you. I'm pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah.
It's great because I think the world is shifting to a different knowing of who there is mentorship with, and it could be their grandpa. It could be It could be,
Yes.
and I think that's beautiful. And if the world can go there, then man, we're doing something really beautiful.
Absolutely. I'm so stoked that we're taking Hollywood off the pedestal. Oh my God, I'm so stoked. Like I was reading this article yesterday about like Oscar ratings and how the views for the Oscars like just plummeted. And I'm like, thank baby Jesus. Yeah. Like so that I grew up in the entertainment industry. I worked on Smallville for 4 years as a stunt double. And the shit that I saw and heard, I was like, this is disgusting. It's like, how can we recreate media? Like, how can we put people of integrity in positions where they are spreading these messages rather than the distortion of Hollywood? I totally feel that too. I totally feel like it's happening. And I think what's cool about this year is whether it was an amazing year for you or whether it was shitty, it's inviting people to wake up. And it's inviting people to pick a side. Like, are you going to be a beacon for the light or are you going to be committed to the darkness? It's fine either way. We need contrast. We need both. But like, it's like, I think it's waking people up in this gray area. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So good.
It's like, come on, guys, just pick a damn side. Let's go. What is your vision? What do you hope when people read your book? What do you hope they walk away with? What impacts do you want to see shifting in their life?
Yeah. The greatest hope I have as they turn the page, whether it's 2 pages for one day or digest the whole book in one, is literally understanding that you are not of this earth, that you are not your body, that you are infinite intelligence. And if you are infinite intelligence, and like I said, loving awareness of, then your birthright is abundance. And if your birthright is abundance, are you seeing and witnessing and creating that abundance and taking complete ownership of it? Because we need everyone in their abundance. Abundance mindset, abundance spirituality, abundance relationships, abundance health. And it's possible. And so that's what I really hope for people when they read this book. And I know it is going to happen if they read it.
I love this so much. So what I'm hearing is like less of an identification with your humanness, more of an identification with like your soul essence. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Your infinite intelligence.
Your infinite intelligence. How do people begin to detach themselves from their human parts and their perceived limitations and step into more of that infinite intelligence? And I know you have so many things about this in your book, but what's like one thing that we can embody or ask ourselves or practice?
Yeah, there's so many, like you said. And so I'm trying to feel into who's listening and like what and for up, because there is so many and there's so many different angles for each person in their evolution. I don't know why this is coming to my mind right now, but it's been massive for me this past year. Going back to nature again. I don't know how many that are listening have actually just truly gone and hugged a tree. I'm telling you, if you feel sad or you feel conflicted on a decision or you feel like you wonder who you are or you're wondering about humanity or whatever the thing is, I invite you to go out into nature. Find a place where you're alone, set your intention, and literally wrap your arms around a tree and just put your face and your heart against it and just feel. And you will realize that you are connected to every living plant and you are not this earth, like this little body that you think you are. It'll breathe into you this true essence and it will bring clarity to whatever the thing is that you are setting that intention towards. I think that's one of the simplest things. And I don't I don't see people doing it enough. And I've had many tears, much clarity, much joy happen by doing this recently. It's profound.
The house that we just moved into, there is the most, I'm going to text you a photo of it, but there is the most insane tree in our backyard. It's like people come to our house, they're like, what? Like it looks almost like fake because it's so perfect and so beautiful. And we put a picnic table right underneath it. And I often just like sit there and talk to the tree of like, tell me the good news. Like, what's the wisdom? And so now I'm going to start talking and hugging the tree because, yeah, I echo what you said. It's like those moments in nature where we can just listen and just like hear and feel the intelligence coming through.
Yeah.
You feel like humans feel so separate from the whole? Is it like a lack of acknowledging, or do we just get so busy in our mind? Like, what stops people from really feeling?
Oh, this one's easy for me. And you mentioned earlier, one of your favorite times was disconnecting from your team, taking all your phones and going down and just laying on the earth in Colombia. These phones, these computers, the news, the TV in your home is disconnecting you from your true essence. And that is just the truth. And so those who are struggling with anxiety, those who are struggling with who am I? What's next for me? Like what's the answer to this? Or you're struggling in your relationships, your health, like the biggest thing that everyone can do, me, you, everyone listening, is literally shut down the computer, turn off the phone, stop listening to the news, and literally get your bare feet on the ground.
Yes.
Just go out, walk in nature. I don't care if you stay in your house and you sip a latte. I don't care, but just get off these electronics because they are shifting your vibration. They're shifting your cellular DNA and they are keeping you from your true essence of joy and peace and happiness. It doesn't mean we don't live in them. Yes, I'm involved with this. I do have a phone. I'm on the computer, but I try to spend as much time on the computer as I do out in nature. So take a true assessment. How much time are you watching your phone? Social media is so addicting. The news can be so addicting. Check yourself. How much time are you spending there versus time with yourself, time with friends, time in nature, laughing, being, experiencing, breathing? And I'm telling you, you just do that simple thing and your life's going to dramatically shift.
That's huge. It's like input versus output. How can we create balance between the time that we're spending on screens and on electronics and match that with nature? That's such a simple thing, but most people are spending, 16 hours on their phones and their screens and maybe 1 hour in nature.
Which is interesting, Samantha, because obviously I'm talking in this generic sense to anyone who's listening, and I'm talking about peace and just feeling a sense of purpose and a sense of peace. But I like coach these high VIP clients that are generating 100 million plus dollar companies. And they're like, everyone has their issue of what they're dealing with. And it's interesting to me because not only are you going to find more peace and happiness, I give assignments like this to these tech people, these very scientific people that are like, well, I just want to grow my business to that, to this. And it's like really big amounts. And I'm like, yep, you're going to get off that screen more. You're going to balance that out and watch as your financial abundance increases. Watch as your relationship increases. And it's been a test for them because we're taught grind, grind, grind. If you want to get more content out, do this, do this, do this to be successful. And I'm just saying, not only will you have more peace and more grounding in yourself, in your being, but you're also going to have a lot more success. Telling you, this is working on all VIP clients. It's definitely worked in my life, but it's real. It's very real. And it's the best way to do it.
The stillness movement is like really catching waves right now, like the do less movement and the stillness and the silence. And one of my mentors, Keith Cunningham, do you know him? He's like that financial guy from Texas. He speaks a lot at Tony Robbins events. He does his like financial events and business mastery and stuff, but he introduced this concept of thinking time, which is literally just get into a room with no electronics. Eric and I have a rule that we never have our phones in our bedroom. So we have this chair and we go up there with like, our journal, whatever. And it's just like thinking time, silent time, like, we just like evaluate. And those are my most, like, that's the most important part of my day. Is like disconnected from it all. And let me just like look at my whole life. Can I recalibrate anything? Is there any noise or anything, any busyness that I can let go of? But when we're so distracted and connected all the time, it's like we don't have time for that. We don't have the resource to even think about that because we're so depleted.
Totally. That's so good. I love that you guys have that. That's cool. I love that.
Fun. Like when we moved into this house, there's like this little like in our master bedroom, there's like this little reading nook. And so we have like our little reading nook. We have this like thinking chair and we have our little journaling desk. So it's like set up for like a little
I love
self-care circuit.
awesome. So good.
What are your favorite ways to resource your body? I know you live in nature, so obviously that's a huge one. What are your other little rituals or things that you love?
Yeah, I have a morning routine that is called my soul writing time. And you can call it whatever you want to call it, but I literally get up before the sun rises. And this is also a time, if you have little kids, they can sniff and smell out anytime you get up, even if it's 4 a.m. But now my kids are a little older, so I get up before everybody else. And I always light a candle or the fire. There's a fire essence to it. And I pull out my journal and I literally have this intention that I'm going to commune with the higher power within me. And I literally write down, what would you have me know? And I have literally been shocked at the wisdom that comes through. Things have shifted in my business. We 10x'd over one idea that I wrote down. I literally have wrote things down around my oldest daughter that I've gone and been like, hey, this came up. And she's like, how did you know? Like things just flow that are a higher knowing within me because we are connected to everything. So it's just giving myself that time to actually ask and be with that intention has been really powerful in my life. And I do this no matter where I'm at around the world and what I'm doing. So that's been really, really potent. So that nature, obviously, you guys, that's a non-negotiable for me. I get outside, rain, shine, wind, hail. I get outside. I have a lot of little things that I do, but this is kind of a simple, funny one. But I have to get ready. And to be really real with everybody, I know I have this like blonde hair and I have makeup on right now, but like my true essence doesn't ever want to do my hair. And my true essence doesn't like getting ready. Like my worst moment is like sitting in the chair getting my hair done at the hairdresser's. Like, but I do these things because I'm on camera and I probably that's probably my next evolution is you'll probably see me and I won't be doing any of these things. But so this is what I decided to do. Every time I'm getting ready on the days I do get ready, because I don't always get ready, I listen to something inspirational on YouTube. And it's my time, it's like really deep concepts. And I do this every time I'm getting ready. And now it's made that time really special for me versus something I'm like, oh, I have to do my hair, I have to get ready. So anyway, that's something that's been really up leveling for me as well.
I love that. Like taking the mundane moments of life and turning them into these like magical, sweet little moments. That was special.
Totally.
What was the question that you asked your soul? What would you love for me to know?
What would you have me know?
What would you have me know? I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And you can
Yes.
ask specific questions too. Like if you're hiring someone or maybe it's
Mhm.
a relationship you're getting into, you can ask specific. But if I don't have a specific question, I ask, what would you have me know? And I just let it free flow, whatever wants to come out.
Well, thank you so, so, so much for being here today. You're such a gift to the world. You're such a light. I feel so grateful that you're not only a friend now, but someone who's spreading these messages of light in the world. So thank you.
So thank you, Samantha, for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Are you waking up at 3 a.m. with racing thoughts or feeling more drained than ever? In my next episode, releasing next Tuesday, I share why this is happening and how to reset your energy, your joy, and your truth. Don't miss it.